the tendency, depending on the context, the tendency is, the husbands show up and then the wives do all the serving. Um, and I know that's shifted somewhat in our modern culture.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know that that's a bad thing. But if you look at your marriage as the opportunity to serve, to honor, to celebrate each other, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Not what are they doing for me, but what am I doing for them?
Yeah. Hello, and welcome back to Now That'll Preach. My name is Jared Crowley. I'm sitting across from Pastor David Freck. And if you are new to That'll Preach, basically the idea is we take your questions, your comments, your topics, and we throw them at this guy, ask him to preach a little 5-10 minute sermonette with no prep whatsoever. So, and we just encourage you guys, if you like this kind of content, if it's edifying to you or edifying to any of your friends, just be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that kind of get it out there. And so, yeah, we appreciate you guys. All right, sir.
All right.
You ready to get into it?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. So someone wants to know the best piece of marriage advice that you could give them.
That's a great question. The best piece of marriage advice. I've got several. I would say, I'm going to give you 3 or 4,
Okay.
and then you can pick which one you like.
Sure.
Out of them. I would tell you that honor is the key to a healthy, successful, and loving relationship. Honor. And honor is the assignment of value. It is handling something, giving deference to it above yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think that if you honor, I'm talking honor. Honor should be an element of love, but I find that honor feels more dutiful and determinate than love does. Love tends to fall into the feeling world.
Right.
And I think you have to make a decision to honor. And I would say honor is absolutely the key, in my opinion, to a stable, strong, healthy marriage. I would also tell you that communication is critical, and it's not just communication, it is communicating for the sake of understanding.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a difference between communicating to be understood and communicating to understand. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
So if you're going to communicate, in your communication, and obviously this goes into more when things can get heated, when things can get, you're maybe get hurt or angry or frustrated or whatever, that the goal isn't to assume anything and jump to, you need to understand why I feel this way about what you just did or what you just said or what just didn't happen. But at this point, I want to understand why you said that.
That's good. Yeah.
And why you're thinking that way and why you handled it this way. Because too many times we jump to conclusions in communication, and instead we need to strive for understanding.
Yeah.
And that's what 1 Peter 3 says about husbands, 3:8. Men, dwell with your wives with understanding. So it's a critical component to a healthy format for how you move through your marriage.
Right.
So honor, communicating for understanding, have fun. Strive to find the things that you can enjoy together and do it.
Yeah,
and do them together.
Sure.
And that seems simple and it seems kind of silly, but if you can keep that joy element in the marriage, it's gonna help you. Yeah, it's gonna help you a lot. And I'd say probably the final thing that I would encourage people in marriage to really kind of get a handle on, I would say serve. the tendency, depending on the context, the tendency is, you know, the husbands show up and the wives do all the serving. And I know that's shifted somewhat in our modern culture.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know that that's a bad thing. But if you look at your marriage as the opportunity to serve, to honor, to celebrate each other, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Not what are they doing for me, but what am I doing for them?
Yeah, right.
It changes the framework for how you relate to each other. It's not about what are they doing for me, how are they making me feel, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
It's now more about how am I doing, how am I making them feel, how am I meeting their needs.
Yeah, right.
And if you think in that framework, it's going to help you a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd say those 4 things
Yeah.
are really helpful.
Right.
And I think some of that, you have to make decisions. You have to go against some things you've developed. But honor, communicate for understanding, enjoy one another, and serve.
Yeah.
And that, I say those things in lieu of the obvious, love,
Sure.
and so on and so forth.
Right.
So I think that if you can build your marriage on those components.
Yeah.
Can I give you one more piece of advice?
Please.
Not that you're married, but you know, we're all hopeful.
Storing it
all
in the back of
hopeful.
my head. Yeah.
I would also say have clearly communicated and agreed upon values.
Yeah.
What tends to happen is this starts to happen because the couple begins to value different things. And when that happens, it's a road to disaster.
Yeah, right.
So you need to constantly be assessing your values, and you need to constantly make sure your values can change. I'm not saying your values don't change. Your values absolutely could change, but you need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And you need to be committed to it as a couple, and you need to both understand what they are.
Yeah.
So it's not just, we value love. Well, love for you might mean something different than what your wife thinks love means.
Yeah.
So you need to understand what the definition of that value is. And don't have 50 of them. You'll never be able to keep up with it. 3, 4, 5 tops.
Yeah.
And just core values. This is the way we're going to treat each other.
Yeah.
That's what values are.
Yeah,
the way you're going to treat each other. And make each other accountable to that.
Yeah.
Say, hey, wow, you're really missing our value here.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, well, you agreed to it, I agreed to it.
Yeah.
You dropped the ball.
Right.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
It gives you a format to reset.
That's good.
So those are the 5 things I would give as kind of quick marriage advice.
Right. No, I think that's so good. It's funny, as you were saying them, because I'm not married, I was thinking about how similar it is to kind of keeping up with your relationship with God. You know what I mean? Where it is just like, I think it was, I don't remember who it was, but I was listening to a sermon recently where he was talking about he understood from a marriage level that if he stopped kind of doing some of the special things like giving her flowers and telling her she looked good and really kind of showing up in these simple ways, that the moment he stopped doing that, he would have to start it would be worse the next time because he would have so much to make up for it. You know what I mean? It's something that you really are supposed to do every day. And I thought about that in context of your relationship with God. It's value, communication, to understand, you know what I mean? Those type of things. It's it's something you have to keep up with on a daily basis.
Yeah, you can't be casual about it.
Yeah.
It's got to be at the front of your thinking.
Right.
And I've been married, we're going on 39 years, Pastor Tracy and I. And,
super dope.
And it's more her than it is me.
Sure.
She's amazing in every way. But I think it's so important that, I think early on it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because you're figuring it out.
Sure.
And as you get older, it becomes less work because you've got it somewhat figured
just maintaining
out.
it.
But the problem with that is lethargy can creep in.
Right.
And you can that's why the enjoyment part needs to be there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because if you're not intentional, you can kind of get into this malaise of just kind of the humdrum and the usual and the everyday. Right. So there needs to be those components that really keep you connected in heart and spirit, and it is being intentional. You just really do have to be intentional.
Yeah.
The people that just let it go or
Yeah.
presume or assume, it almost always goes bad.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. Right.
try not to go there.
Yeah, I think looking at those type of relationships is what's created kind of the, at least for my generation and like maybe one or two above that, kind of the fear of being committed to someone for so long. Is that fear of
Yeah.
getting bored and, you know, looking at people that weren't intentional and being like, oh man, I don't want that for myself, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to say something that my wife will probably regret me saying. So hopefully she won't watch this episode. But I'm going to tell you, everything about our marriage is better than ever. Everything.
Yeah.
From the physical to the emotional to
Wow.
every other piece of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's better. I'm going to give her the credit. But and why? There's something that happens when it matures.
Yeah.
And when you're not having to, you kind of, you got the rhythm of a thing.
Yeah.
And you got the
Right.
tempo of a thing.
Right.
And it doesn't have to become placid and stale.
Yeah.
It can actually create newer,
Right.
and the real quality of it is in the nuance.
Yeah. Sure.
Not the big,
Of course.
not
the
the
big
big
moments
bang,
and
bang,
yeah.
bang, but the
Right.
nuance of
Right.
things.
Right.
You just the look or the whatever.
Yeah.
It's the nuance that makes it so wonderful.
Yeah.
And you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I kind of got off the track a little bit, but I'm telling you, it is so true. If you're just hopping from relationship to relationship and every 5 years you're getting a new one,
Yeah.
it feels great, it feels exciting, but I'm telling you, when you get to the end of the road, you're going to be really lonely,
Yeah.
and you're going to have a history of wreckage.
Yeah. Right.
And man, who wants that?
Yeah, of course.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just, the idea of having to restart,
Yeah. Right.
for me,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I
right,
got a
right.
really good thing.
Yeah.
I ain't messing that
Of
up.
course. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's anyhow,
Yeah.
kind of meandered off
Sure.
the
Yeah,
track
yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's
Right.
something powerful in covenant. There's something powerful in commitment. There's something powerful in devotion. There's something powerful in that you don't get hopping from a high point to a high point to a high point to a high point.
Yeah. 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 Right. Right. Just maintaining that kind of that middle valley kind of period.
Just going deep, and
Yeah.
you're there.
Right.
You're
right.
there in the thick. You're there in the thin. When it's
Yeah.
easy, when it's hard. Just
It's good.
being quick to forgive, being
Yeah.
quick to understand, being quick to give the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
And all that stuff's important.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's so good, man. No,
hopefully
I
it's helpful.
Yeah, I super appreciate it for myself alone. Even if nobody else gets anything out of it, I'll definitely be coming back to this in a few years. But all right, well, we appreciate you guys so much. We're actually going to take a little break for a few weeks, kind of restart some things. It's obviously the holidays, so it's been a super busy time for us around here. So we're just gonna, kind of take the chance to rest up a little bit, but in the rest, there's always work. So, we'll be coming back, kind of seeing what sort of a season 2 kind of looks like and how we can change some things up and improve some things.
Yeah, and we would elicit not just your questions and your comments and all that, but even your suggestions.
Yeah, of course.
How could we make this better for
Right,
you?
right.
And
what works really well for you and what
yeah,
doesn't
what do you
work
like
so well?
about this? What
Yeah,
don't you like about
right,
it?
Right.
What would you like to see
Yeah.
as maybe some additional content or additional formats or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So this has been a grand experiment for us. It seems to be well appreciated.
Yeah. The feedback is good overall.
And the feedback does seem to be good. So, if it matters to people, we're glad to do it. If it doesn't matter, we'll quit because we don't need to do an
Of
extra
course.
thing.
Yeah.
So
right.
but I like that I am enjoying the conversational component of this.
Right.
I'm able to we're able to get to things that in a general church setting you can't always get to.
Of course, yeah.
So hopefully it's helpful.
Yeah, no, I agree. I stand behind all that. I do want to shout out Wisdom. That dude comments on every single video that
Oh,
we
does
do.
he?
Yeah, this is
Awesome.
like, if this show is just made for wisdom alone, I'm cool with that.
Wisdom's great.
Yeah,
Love wisdom.
exactly,
He's a great guy.
exactly, man. Anything we can do to help wisdom, I'm down to help. So,
Very cool.
all right, we appreciate you guys. We love you so much. We'll see you in a few weeks. That'll preach.
That'll preach.
All right.
All right.